and this is the Agegroup Multisport Podcast with me, Richard Conway. This is a platform for Agegroup multisport athletes to showcase their journeys. To episode 56, and this episode is brought to you by Presca Sportswear, the world's first climate positive sportswear brand. And Presca make men and women's cycling, running and triathlon clothes, and they make the most environmentally conscious sportswear that they can. So check them out on their website, which is prescasportswear.com, and it's really good quality stuff. I use it myself, and so does Mrs. C, so give them a look up. And thank you for either coming back and having another listen to one of our episodes, or if it's your first time, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy this story, and if you want to revisit any of our other shows, you can find them all on Spotify at AMP, and we have our own YouTube channel, which is AMP GB, and they're all on there, and they're also on our website, so check them out. Some really good, well, they're all good in my biased opinion, stories and journeys of multi-sport athletes who've reached the pinnacle and represented the country. So yeah, and today's guest is no exception, and that is Jason Wilf Williams. And Jason came from a running background originally after trying many sporting events at school, and he settled on running, and pretty good from all accounts. That was his main thing, and he got into fell running, and then he found the bike and got introduced to duathlon, and the rest, as they say, is history. So I hope you enjoy Jason's story, especially the bit where he claims to have done it on a budget, which is a fascinating part to it. So that's coming up. It's been a bit of a fortnight since the last podcast. There's been all sorts going on. I'd just like to say a big congratulations to Sarah Harding, who was our guest on episode 6 a couple of years ago, and she's just been married. So congratulations, Sarah. The European age group triathlons were held in Munich alongside the European Championships of many sports over the last week, and I'd just like to say big congratulations to former guests that were over there racing and representing GB, and they included Karina Kaufman and David Pearson both from Age Group News. And if you want to find out more about the European Championships or anything else about Age Group News, head over to their Instagram page and give them a follow, and they'll fill you in with all the details. So well done, you guys. Also, Yanni, who was on the podcast last episode, he was racing out there as he stated in the last podcast, and also my teammate Karen Haynes, who's also been on the podcast. She was out there racing, and they all did fantastically well. So congratulations, well done, and I'm glad you had a great time. And if you remember on episode 52, we had Bjorn and Gemma Hughes, man and wife, who were going after the Scandinavian double, and that was this weekend, just gone, and they've done it. So after 3 years in the planning, and due to COVID and one thing and another, all the setbacks along the way, they were finally able to race Ironman back-to-backs in 2 Scandinavian countries for charity, and they smashed it. So well done, Bjorn, well done, Gemma. Fantastic effort, fantastic result. I can't imagine you must be in bits by now, so have a great rest, and well done again. And speaking of the European Championships over in Munich, it was great to see Non Stanford come away with the gold in a swan song race for GB. It was a brilliant race and a fantastic performance. So well done, Non. And Tom Pidcock was the other standout race for me. He won the gold in the mountain biking after coming from behind in the field due to lack of races. He got to the front and never looked back, and that was it. He won the gold. Phenomenal athletes. So that was pretty much the highlights for me for the European Championships. There was lots of stuff on there. Mrs. C enjoyed the gymnastics. We enjoyed the cycling. There's loads on there. The swimming was pretty cool, and it was great to watch. And now it's the Vuelta. The Vuelta's on for 3 weeks. Tour of Spain, if you're into your cycling. I'll be watching it daily and see what dramas it throws up. It's always good to watch, see the pros at the peak. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I think that's about it for now. There was a couple of there was the Collins Cup was on last weekend, and if you're interested in that, you can listen to another podcast that I listen to quite a lot with Joe Skipper, and it's called Triathlon Mockery, and those guys go into it in some detail to see how it could be better and what they liked about it. So go over to their podcast and give that a listen. And I think the only other podcast that I'm going to mention today is there was a Rich Roll podcast, and he had on a centenarian. That's somebody who's over 100, obviously. And the guy was called Mike Fremont, and he was talking about longevity secrets and breaking world records and how to thrive being a centenarian. And he was just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. And a lot of the things that he talks about was just common sense. But yeah, really worth a listening to. If you're into your longevity and wanting to stay fit, give the Rich Roll podcast a listen and listen to Mike Freeman.
I'm a welder. I don't understand this office stuff.
Look at you.
Sorry.
No, yeah. It's absolutely fine. We're here. We've made it.
Nice to chat to you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and you, mate. Thank you for reaching out and agreeing to do this.
That's all right.
Much appreciated. Where do we find you in the world?
I'm currently in my bedroom in the Thorpe Langton in Leicestershire, near Market Harbour.
Okay, nice part of the world. How you got into multi-sport? How you got into age group? And then a few quick fire questions after that. So
no problem.
Cool. So yeah, let's get into it then. So what did you do growing up as a kid and sporting wise?
Well, in terms of sports, I guess initially we would troop round following my dad to cricket matches and rugby matches, and just sort of sit, and me and my sister would be playing around while my dad played cricket or rugby. And then eventually I got to sort of school age. I was average at sport at school, but I liked it, but I was always very average, if not a bit rubbish, especially with ball sports. So I thought, I want to be, I'll play rugby like my dad. So I briefly joined a rugby club, a little mini rugby club. I can't remember exactly what age, under 10, something like 10 years old. And quickly realised I don't like contact sports. I was rubbish at fighting at school, so I didn't like the running around the pitch was okay. Didn't like getting tackled by anybody, and I didn't like going to training, and I didn't like the winter. So that lasted about a year and a half, I think, and then I sacked it off. And a friend at school was in a little local running club, and he said, "Do you want to come along? It's at the school in the evenings on a Tuesday, I think it was." So I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll turn up to that." So it was on the school field, and it was people my own age, so people that I was at school with, and it was okay. So I did that around about, I don't know, I guess I was about 13 or 14, something like that, and I did that for about a year or so, maybe 2 years, I can't quite remember. And we went and did track events, and we did running mostly. And did all sorts of stuff, and it was the Owls of Leicester, which was the Oby and Wigston Legionnaires Athletics Club. So it was called the Owls for short, and it's still going now. And it was a great little club. We did lots of stuff. Everyone sort of mucked in and got stuck in. But after a while, I was more or less sort of teenager, and the lure of teenage adventure took me out of sport. I thought, yeah, that's I don't like training. I'm not fast enough. Everyone's better than me. I'm going to pack it in and do all the things that you really shouldn't be doing. So I went off and became a teenager and did night clubbing and all that kind of stuff. The details don't need to be publicised, but a few years later, and so funnily enough, my friends and myself used to go away for weekends, walking in the hills in Wales and the Lake District and stuff. And I was always on the front and waiting for everyone to catch up, and then running around a little bit because I still had a bit of sport in me. I was quite energetic. And one night, after drinking my bus fare in the pub and chasing my mates on the bus home, I thought I should really do this properly again. I might go back to the club and see if they'll have me back instead of wasting my time, drinking in the weekends all the time. So I went back to the club, and Wayne Walker, who's a brilliant coach, well renowned in the Midlands and beyond, he reluctantly or happily, I guess, said, yes, you can come back and join the club. So I became an Owls AC member again at the age of about 23, 24, I think I was then.
Yeah.
And I was okay. I was average. And we did lots of some of the highbrow stuff. There was the Birmingham League cross country and the track and field leagues. And there was not many jumpers, throwers or whatever. But when it comes to running, we pretty much, held our own above everybody and managed to win some good stuff. I quite like being a team member of a running club, even though running's an individual sport. You can still, you partake for the team. You come away with a team medal. I was always happy with that. I always am. And so after about 11 years of that, I got a bit, I wouldn't say depressed. I was a bit down all the time, bored of running. So I packed it in. But it took a big decision to do that. Within a year or even less, I'd reversed that decision. I thought, I can't stop running because I'm even more miserable now. So I joined another local club, having moved house a little bit, and I was living near Charnwood. So I joined Charnwood AC, which is a good club, big club known in Leicestershire. I was a member of them for a few years, and my running got better. I wouldn't necessarily say because of the way they run it or anything like that. I just became more focused again and calmed down my lifestyle a little bit. And my running picked up, and by then I'm sort of 37. And
you've matured.
I'd matured a little bit. Yeah, I found a bit more motivation, and so at 37, I was getting PBs and getting close to. I could run nearly a 16-minute 5K at 37, and I'm thinking this is I'm not brilliant, but this is better than average, so I should keep going at this. By then, I'd got a bit bored of regular running, so I've always been doing cross country. Always love cross country. If it's muddy, if it's hilly, if it's difficult, if it's absolutely chucking it down, I prefer it. I don't like the fast flat courses that we used to do on the football pitches for the high powered leagues. Never interested me, and I never did any good there. So yeah, if it was tough and all this. So by then, I'm thinking a few people have said, have a go at fell running. It's your kind of thing. You just don't know it yet. So I started doing a few. And that took off. I was into that then. So I got friendly with some people in the fell running scene who happened to live up in the Calderdale area, and went away for a training weekend once a year with a club as a guest, and we ran in the Midsummer Madness that used to be hosted by Calder Valley Fell Running Club. The chairman at the time is Bill Johnston, and he put on a 3-day weekend of racing, and just it's low key fun, and it's like £3 a race, and I really enjoyed that. And one year I won it, so I thought this is it. I'm a fell runner now, so I joined Calder Valley, so I could do fell running in a club, and then 2 years later, as a club, they or with a bit of my help, a tiny little bit, not a lot, a little bit. We won the English and the British fell running championship. So it's two separate championships within a year's racing, and they kind of overlap. So one or two of the races are combined, but otherwise they're separate races, and you have to do so many a year for a club to qualify. And now, as a 40-year-old, I was then. This is 2015. We were classed as the Vet 40 and the Vet 40 team, pretty much with a couple of exceptions, won the Open event as well. So you get both. So we won the Open and the Vet 40 championship in both the British and the English in 1 year, which was pretty monumental. And I don't think I've ever done anything as good as that in my life. That's one of the major achievements. So that kind of started to fizzle out after. In 2013, I slipped over in one of them races and I broke my ankle. And by 2015, I was over it and running well again. But every now and again, the ghost of that injury haunted me a bit. And what I can only describe as the fear kicks in. If you've ever done any serious off-roading and you get to a steep descent, you either love it or it petrifies you. And I was kind of okay. I was average, not fast compared to them lads, but I was all right. But I started to develop this fear of going downhill on anything, especially rocks, and it freaked me out. Annoyingly, my head got the better of me, and I stood one time just shaking, thinking I can't do this, and I don't know why I'm here. So reluctantly, I just gave it a miss for a while, and it's been a few years now, and I've only done one or two since. But I'm desperate to get back into it because I think I've found a bit more of my bottle. I just need to test it again. But anyway, on the back of that, I was getting bored of running, and I moved around clubs and ended up at Hermitage Harriers, and really enjoyed myself there. And things were picking up, and I was doing all right, but still generally a bit bored of road leagues, repeating the same ones in Leicestershire I've been doing over and over again. Not able to do the fell running because I've got the fear. I thought, what else can I do that's interesting? And I was commuting to work occasionally on my bike. And somebody said, "Oh, why don't you get into triathlon?" And I said, "I don't like swimming. I really don't. I really don't. I like swimming backwards and forwards and sideways in a pool with a cold beer on holiday in the sun, but I don't like doing it in a hurry or like 2 o'clock. I don't like being full. I can't do it very well. Obviously, if you know about swimming, if you can't do the breathing technique, you can't swim very far for very long. Enjoy it enough." So I thought, I'll do a duathlon then.
So how did you find out about duathlon?
Yeah, there's quite a few, but there's not too many. Well, weirdly enough, I think it was about 2009, 2010, somebody, I can't remember who it was. I think a guy I used to be in a running club with years ago, he represented GB in the off-road duathlon or triathlon, whatever it was. And he said there's the odd duathlon every now and again. Have a go at it. And he posted me a link, I think, to I can't remember the guy's name, but it used to be called VLA Events. It was a little low-key organising thing. I think it was for charity mostly. And there was one in somewhere in Yorkshire. There was one, and then that was a road one, and then there was an off-road one by the same guy at Coedy Brennan in the old. If you know Coedy Brennan mountain bike trails, in the old days it was on one side of the road in a big wooden hut. It's now on the opposite side, and it's all massive compared to what it used to be. So I had a go at that, and I finished in the top 3.
Right,
because I could run. And I thought, oh, great! If you're a runner, you're going to win this. Turns out, if you can't ride a bike, you won't win it, but you'll do okay. So yeah, I got destroyed on the bike every time, either on road or off road, and I was nearly always first in both the runs. And then eventually, I did the off road one, and I was that far in front on the run. By the time they caught me up on the bike, I'd only got 800 meters of running on the final trail, and I'm a good trail runner. And first hill, I was first, and then I won. And I thought, this is it. I might do another one. And then I never did. Yeah. I didn't do another one until, when was it? Right. So in 2017, 2018, I'm running as regular, doing this, that, and the other. And a guy who's now becoming a name in the game, Rob Osborne, who is Race Rapid. I'm sure there's a number of people have heard of him now. So I didn't know him at the time. He was a member of Colville Triathlon, I think it was, and it was an ex-military guy. And he approached me and said, "Would you be interested in doing a triathlon or a duathlon as a team?" He was trying to start a team up, and he wanted some people to have a go. And he said, "I've been passed on your name as a good runner, and you're a bit of a cyclist and a mountain biker. Would you be interested?" So I went for a meeting with him. We had a chat, And then on the back of that meeting, I agreed to join his team and at least have a try at it. So it became Lutterworth Cycle Centre Triathlon team with Russell Haynes, who's Lutterworth Cycles owner, and he created this team. And so we went to, it was the 145 Spring Duathlon. I've got it written down here. And it was at the Bosworth Water Park in Leicestershire. So it was my very first proper duathlon since 2010 or whatever it was. And by then, I'd got my Lutterworth Cycle Centre Triathlon tri-suit. So it made me feel like I'd got the right uniform and all very official and all the kit. And I'd borrowed a Specialized Allays off a friend of mine, which was almost the right size. Obviously, no tri-bars or anything like that. And I said, yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. And I rocked up. I looked half the part anyway. Anyway, we jumped on, we set off. And I'm in the lead on the run thinking, I might win this. And then Rob, who was racing as well, is an awesome cyclist, absolutely destroyed me on the bike, disappeared down the road. And I managed to catch a few people up on the run and I finished second. So I thought, well, this is all right. He was over the moon. He said, yep, you're a great team member. Can't wait to see what you do next. So he advised me to look for some qualification races. He said, go for the glory of a GB athlete thing.
And that was the first time you'd come across Agegroup, was it?
Yeah, pretty much. I'd known a little bit about it before, but I didn't really know much. I didn't really have any interest. And I'd got some friends in the running club who'd already qualified for it a few years prior.
Right.
I'd sort of listened to it, but not really paid that much attention. So then I kind of thought, this is, maybe I can do this then, because I seem to be all right averagely. I think I just need to improve my cycling a little bit. So I started working out on the bike a little bit, and I entered the Clumber Park Standard Duathlon in 2018, which was a qualifier for the Denmark race. Finn, was it in Finn? Yes, it was in Finn in Denmark. For the 2018 World Championships, I believe it was, thinking I'll set my sights high and let's see what happens. And so I went to Clumber Park as quite a novice. I'd borrowed a giant propel off Russell at Lutterworth Cycle Centre, and an old friend of mine, Rob Orr, who was one of his cycling team members, lent me his racing wheels. So I'd got the fastest bike I could get my hands on, with no tri-bars doing a standard, because I didn't really understand it, and I didn't want to try it for the first time.
No.
Jumped on, pedalled round. My girlfriend cheered me, and my family all cheered me on. I did reasonably well. I did a good first 10K, got on the bike, just went flat out round the bike, tried not to draft anybody. Got in, got massive cramp on the final run. Cried a little bit, walked a little bit, cried a little bit, walked a little bit, got going again, caught a couple of people up, finished, thinking that was rubbish, I'm never doing this again. And the results called out, I had to hang around. Somebody said, don't go home yet, because I think you might be in the results. So I waited around, and it turns out I was 25th overall and third in my age group, the 40 to 44.
Brilliant.
Which meant not only was it a qualifier, which meant I'd qualified automatically, but I found out it was an English national championship event. So I had a bronze medal.
Fantastic.
On my first attempt at qualifying.
On a borrowed bike?
On a borrowed bike, and on a bit of a wing and a prayer, I kind of tend to think. But yeah, I thought, okay, I'm doing duathlons now then. Yeah. I could do this. So yeah, that was then all panic and, oh God, I've got to save up some money quicker. We're going to Denmark. Mm-hmm. So thankfully, Rob took it on and organised it, and I just packed my bag. By then, I think I'd bought the bike off Russell, thinking this was fast, I'll keep this one. So that was, hit the credit card, bought the bike, booked the flights, paid Rob the money for the accommodation, and we went to Denmark. And we went and raced abroad with my very first GB tri-suit, which I've still got, and I didn't quite believe it was all happening. So it was exciting.
And how was the experience?
The experience was amazing. I mean, I've raced having been a competitive runner for 20 plus years, I've been to many events. The excitement there at the right time, depending on what the event is. Well, this was obviously new, so the excitement levels were through the roof and the nerves were there. But the atmosphere was fantastic. It was very friendly, very welcoming. Reminded me of the fell running kind of scene. And prior to that, I'd actually entered the World Mountain Masters Running Championship a couple of times, which doesn't require a qualification. You can just pay your money and rock up. So I'd done that a few times. So that was my first kind of international event, that like a low key thing. But there's similar kind of vibe. People are really up for it, and there's, with it being the age group stuff, it's not the elite, so there's no kind of people looking over their shoulder at you or anything. It's everyone like shaking hands and being really, really, really friendly. And this was the same kind of vibe, and I really liked it. I thought it was amazing. Yeah, it was quite intimidating, but at the same time, we're all here. We all deserve to be here. Let's enjoy it. So I was hooked, shall we say? Detriment since I've been hooked at trying to achieve every one I can since then.
Yeah, cool, brilliant. Well, it's a great background story to say you come from a running, and it's just it just goes to show, with a bit of talent that you've obviously got running, and a bit of just for the hell of it, just go and have a go. What can be achieved, and that should be an inspiration to anyone, shouldn't it? Really.
Oh, quite right. I mean, I wouldn't like to admit out loud, although obviously I am doing, that there was a little bit of stubborn kind of, I want to do this cheap. Sounds expensive. I'm going to do it cheap. This has got the guy on a 10 grand full tri bike and all the kit, and I think I can do that on without all the fancy kit. Surely you don't need to buy all that. Turns out it helped quite a lot.
Oh, of course it helps.
And probably a chip on my shoulder about it, but I'm still determined to not spend a hell of a lot of money and just enjoy being putting the work in and doing what I can. Obviously, if I had more money, I'd buy better equipment, but I'm not bothered. It doesn't matter. And I really enjoy it. I've now bought the bike. The credit card's finally paid off 4 years later. I kept that bike, and I've even had it painted in team colours. So
fantastic.
There's a little bit of maverick about it, I guess, or stubbornness. But I mean, it just goes to show you. Obviously, you have to buy the tri-suit and everything, but you don't need to make it expensive. And if you don't want to spend all the money, then you can do duathlons without traveling around the world chasing the GB stuff. But if you can, then go for it. Why not? It's
totally agree.
Once, right?
I mean, just at that point, me and my wife were supposed to be doing a low-key local one last night, and they cancelled it for whatever reason. I can't remember. So we just went up to the industrial estate and did our own.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a training session, but it was homegrown duathlon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was fun, hard work, fun, but we enjoyed it. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, then you can do it anywhere, really.
Exactly. I mean, weirdly enough, I suppose one of the major attractions for me, I've got into the sprint racing, but that was more after I had some. Let's just say my knees decided I was 47 and they didn't want to run anymore. So it took 6 months or more of getting over that. But I thought I may have to give up running. But my knees were playing up, and it's early onset degenerative cartilage damage and blah blah blah. All doom and gloom at the time, and now I don't even. I can almost imagine it never happened because they seemed perfectly fine. But when I came back, I dropped down to sprint because of the less intensity, and naively thought, it's half the distance, it's half the effort, it'll be okay. But obviously, it's faster and it hurts. It's just pain for an hour, isn't it, or more? And
it's all relative, isn't it?
I'm slowly drifting, but yes, it is. I'm slowly drifting back into standard again because I think I'll probably fare a little bit better on the longer journey, slightly longer journey. Anyway, 10K has been my main running distance, so I'm working back to that, and now I can ride the bike a little bit better in a tucked position. I'm all right, and I've got tri bars and I've got a tri bike I'm slowly building. So still on the cheap. I'm doing it best, one part at a time off eBay, and I'll have a full bike. But so the sprint stuff it's hard work, and I found it It's just my typical kind of what's your plan? How are you going to race? Well, I'm gonna go when the gun goes, and I'm going to go as hard until the gun stops, and it's going to do me some damage along the way. That's usually what I cramp up nearly every time. But I don't have a plan. It's just go flat out.
I think you're right.
I might never learn, but
Yeah. Well, you're right. On a sprint, that's all you can do. You've got to go out, because if you don't go out as fast as you can, then you're behind at the beginning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody says, "Oh, it's only a sprint." Yeah, but it's a sprint at full capacity, isn't it?
Yes, quite right. Yeah, if you don't make the bike group, you're just racing on your own for no reason. Then it's been interesting. It's been a learning curve. I had a interesting journey in Romania where I kind of got in with a single effort cycle round and round the streets like a crit race, having never done a crit race, but got that excited I did one lap too many. So
oh no.
yeah. Annoyingly, I've realised 300 meters in that I'd gone run one too many times, but by then you've got to carry on. You can't cut across the course and
no, that's right,
back in. But then I ran one lap too short, so I got disqualified.
Oh.
But, like I say, once the gun goes, my brain stops working and my legs start working.
Yeah, that racing fog comes over, doesn't it? And you just like, when people get, it's quite funny, isn't it, from the outside watching people go into transition and they're all over the place, because it's like, I
know. In my mind, I kind of knew I was not doing it right, but I couldn't. I was on the train and I couldn't get off until I got off, and I just thought, I think I've ran one lap too few there. But never mind.
It's all experience, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I was going well, so that's the main thing. It's still there. But, yeah. So
really good. That's that's, like I said before, it's that story is really inspiring for anyone listening, to be fair, to see where you've come from. And so you're in a bit of a club. Are you coached at all?
Not as such. For the duathlon, I now, having been in the Lutterworth Cycle Centre Triathlon group, about a year after that, Rob contacted me and said he was he wanted to start his own club, because that was more like a Lutterworth joint venture thing. And he said, I want to do my own club, and I've got big plans for it. I can't tell you what they are now, because as it turns out, he wanted to start Race Rapid and get the Mallory Park thing as a business going, rather than just be a member of a. He was the team manager of a group, but he wanted his own club, his own team, sort of thing. So he created Race Rapid, and he said, you can stay or you can come with me if you want to. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything, but this is the plan. And I thought, oh well, you asked me to join the club to start with, so yeah, I'm in it for whatever. So I went and joined Race Rapid with him, and I've been in that ever since. Now that works out as there's a race membership kind of side to it. Then there's a training and whatever side. So it's like a multifaceted venture. And just by I'm just in the racing team, so I wear the kit. My some of my fees are sort of covered for a couple of things, and then you can be coached if you want, but it's not directly connected. There's no actual coaching club within that I'm part of. So I was self-coached. He said basically, I don't think I can teach you anything about running. And as far as the bike goes, you just got to get your hours in, because you're doing all right. You carry on. So, but recently I've contacted a guy, Matt Long, who is an England or up and coming England coach and advisor. So he's what you call piggyback coaching or guiding, whatever. So I provide my own coaching, and he basically just red pens he puts corrections on it like a teacher. He just says, yeah, adjust this, add on, increase this, or whatever, to sort of, you're on the right track, but steering the ship rather than setting the course.
So he's like a mentor.
Yeah, pretty much mentor. Yeah, so he basically tells me where I'm going wrong or what I could do better. So that's really good, and I'm hoping to to improve a little bit on the back of that. But currently, unfortunately, I'm on the injury bench with a broken collarbone, having crashed my mountain bike in the woods in Derbyshire, getting a little bit excited one weekend a few weeks ago.
Was that? Yeah, I saw that on your message. Was that just a social ride out then, or were you racing?
Yeah. I've got some. No, I wasn't racing. No, I've got some good friends who are into mountain biking. I've known them for many years. They're a little bit better than me, probably a little bit younger as well. But yeah, we were just blasting around the woods, and almost at the end of the day, and I just took on one little section that was a bit twitchy, that was probably out of my league, and I thought, no, come on, you're all right, you can do this. And it was all fine until suddenly it wasn't, and then as I hit the floor, which looked nice and soft, it turned out there was a bit of a buried stone wall there, and a shoulder barged it, and I hit on my ribs. And I ploughed a hole into the ground with my shoulder, and unbeknown to me, I cracked my collarbone and certainly gave my chest a good whack. So if you've ever damaged a rib or two, you know that you're pretty useless for a couple of weeks. It's really, really painful.
It's funny you should say that, because I was racing the duathlon qualifier earlier in the year in Alton Park. And it was a draft legal race. And I just managed to jump on a group coming past. And I was at the back of the group, lad, and they'd coned off the inside section of the track for the runners.
Yes.
Didn't see the lad move out in time from avoiding a cone, and I hit the cone, and I don't really remember what happened next. But yeah, rib damage. Fortunately, we were just talking about this today, myself and my wife. That was all I had, but I was in agony for about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Just starting to slowly get some fitness back now, and so I totally sympathise with you.
It's awful, isn't it? Was there more than one person involved in that crash?
Just me. I was at the back of the group.
Oh, okay. There was a similar crash when I raced at Alton Park, and one of the guys there totally destroyed himself. He put himself out, snapped his bike and all sorts. Probably on a similar bit on the cone, somebody moved out and took him down just as the top of one of the rises on the back. The back straight. But yeah, it's a difficult thing, isn't it? But especially when you've got lots of people of different abilities.
That's right.
Different laps, manoeuvring around. It can be, you got to have your wits about you. But unfortunately, as you discover, there's nothing you can do about it sometimes. You're just in it as a passenger. But so thankfully, I'm okay. More than, but the bike's fine. That's the main thing. But I'm recovering. But obviously I'm booked up to go to Bilbao in September.
I was supposed to be going as well, but I've got so much fitness. I ain't going now.
Right. Well, I've paid for it, so I'm going to go regardless. But I'll probably get hammered, but I'll do my best. As long as I can run and hold the bars, it'll be okay. But it's quite disappointing. I had to have a bit of a whip round to get the money together. So kind of feel like if I don't go, I'll be letting people down, and then if I do go, I won't be very good. But you never know, because you got to race. You don't know until you finish to see. As long as I do make amends for getting the laps correct and not getting disqualified, I'm already one up from last time. So.
Well, good luck with it. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm sure I will.
Enjoying the experience.
Always a great experience. Exactly. It's a great crack with all the friends there and stuff. So
absolutely cool. So we'll move on to the quick fire round questions now.
Okay.
And basically, what's your favourite resources that you go to? Could be videos, it could be books, it could be magazines, websites. What do you tend to look at for your training and to bring yourself on in the sport?
That is a good question. I'm a bit of a lazy, unmotivated, certainly uncoordinated athlete. I don't follow a plan. I've been coached on and off in the past, and I basically just drag up old coaching sessions and sort of formulate them. And most of the time, I run to feel. So I go out when I feel, as often as I can. But if I don't feel like it, I won't go. And when I do feel like it, I make sure it's either something nice and steady, or it's worth going out the door for. I'm a good believer nowadays. And if you're going to go out, put the effort in, get it done, and then get on with your day or whatever. But if you're going to half bake it, don't bother. You're not you might as well just go on a steady run. That's fine. There should be a lot
Yeah.
of them anyway. And on the bike, whatever. It's either get it done and do it as you know you should do, or don't bother. So I watch a few videos on YouTube and stuff. But to be honest, I don't really read many books on sport itself or training. I don't really follow vlogs or whatever. So yeah, people would wonder how I do manage to do what I do. But
Just by doing it.
It's not technically lazy, but it's just either by memory or how I feel at the time. And it served me all right for 25 years. You know, I'm probably not going to win a gold medal in a hurry, but I do all right, and I'm happy with what I've got. So, you know, it suits me. Yeah.
That's the main thing.
If that's an answer.
Yeah, that is an answer. That's what you give me. That's, you know, it's quite refreshing to hear, actually.
Well, what I will say is, quite often, what do you think about when you're out running? I don't listen to music very often, or I do sometimes, but when I'm out, I kind of replay races in my head and think about the race that I'm focusing on coming up in my head, and you kind of visualize what you're actually doing in that race, who's around you, how you're performing. Kind of pretend you're actually racing, but not physically, but in your mind, go through it. And it's just a lot of that, which is a motivator. And it kind of, to me, it kind of makes me think about the little intricacies of your pace, your form, getting that kind of race feel so that you remember why you're doing what you're doing. So, you know, when you're not really interested one day, instead of just going out and plodding and being totally miserable, just get your head into a little race space where you think, oh, you know, you get a little bit excited by it, because try and turn it around a little bit. But as weird as it sounds, I do that probably more often than I should. I don't know. But
no, I think that's one of the things, visualization. Lots of pros use that. Lots of sports psychologists recommend doing it as a part of it's part of your training.
Yes.
So for you to be doing that is like, don't stop, carry on. The more you can do it, the better. Absolutely, yeah. It's a brilliant thing, because it's amazing how the mind can help, and also be a detriment as well, because it can go the other way. So fantastic.
Strangely enough, during a race, it'll probably it turns the other way around. It just turns off. And I don't think about what I'm doing. I get carried.
Bit of kit.
Ooh, favorite bit of kit. I've multiple. One of my favorite bits of kit is studded fell-run shoes. I've been a massive fan of Innovate studded X-Talon shoes or similar to running off-road. I don't care if they've got big studs or short studs. My old ones get worn down and I use them for gravel tracks and dirty roads when the weather's rubbish. The new ones get safe for racing. That's one of my favourite bits of kit, is my fell-running shoes, because I always think I like running off-road for training purposes. And if you've got the grip, you've got the confidence, they're not overly cushioned. I don't like big chunky shoes. Racing flats, but racing flats for the road to train in. I don't like cushioned shoes. I never have. I don't feel like they're doing me any favors at all. But I'm not a barefoot runner, but you know, something like that. And then I guess my bike. I really like my bike now. I was never a cycling fan until I got into my road biking, and it kind of grew on me. Now my bike's one of my favorite things ever. And my mountain bike. I've always liked mountain bike.
Cool. Yeah.
Good. That's it.
Good answers there. Yeah, most people do say the bike, because I think because basically it's probably the most expensive item that we invest in, isn't it?
I guess. Yeah.
Great answers. So, what advice would you give anybody who wanted to get into this multi-sport malarkey?
Advice. Don't be scared of it. Basically, have a go. Find somewhere local that does a little, like, go try, or just get one of your friends or a couple of your friends together and do a few park runs or something like that, and then cycle to park run, and then have a go at park run, then cycle home, and then do that regularly till you're really comfortable with it, and then do a go try or a go duathlon or whatever it happens to be, and get talking to people there, because everybody will people will always help you, It's there's a lot of rules, and it looks quite daunting. Thankfully, for myself, having been racing for many years, I tend to find the rules bizarre but laughable, and obviously you take them on board because you don't want to get disqualified. But I'm not intimidated by rules; I just find it hilarious. But a lot of people, like being new to it, would find it, and I know because I've heard people say they're very scared or daunted. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm going to get it all wrong. Turn up and get it all wrong on day one.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, does it? Because you're not being paid to get there. It's if you find a cheap one first, then just turn up and get it wrong a few times, and just listen and figure it out as you go, and you'll be okay. Ask advice. People will help you.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, again, local and cheap. That's I think, especially after coming out of a pandemic and things where people didn't travel or couldn't travel. I think still now, if you can find some, and the other thing is you're supporting local as well, which is great to see.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing, if people that might be a member of a cycling club or anything like that, and they do a little bit of run on the side, if they're interested in doing it, one thing I find is really beneficial is time trials. I do 10 miles and 25-mile time trials. Now, for sprint and standard, they're brilliant. So do a few of them and then link it up with a run in front. Or I know that cycling is not meant to have preceded by a run or a swim. Don't worry about the rules because they have their own set, don't they? But just do that. Just mix it up and go for a run on a cycle on the same day.
Yeah,
and then get changed as quickly as possible and see how that feels.
yeah. Cool. Thank you for that answer. Brilliant. Okay, final couple of questions then. What are your short and long-term goals?
Short-term goals. Well, obviously, I'm going to Bilbao in Spain, so that's this year. Get that finished. I'd like to do okay there. I'll just leave it at that. I was hoping for better, but at the minute I just want to get around, enjoy it, and do myself proud. My other short-term goal is to do hopefully the Afan Extreme mountain bike duathlon and get a result that's good enough to post a cross duathlon qualification for next year. I'm quite tempted to diversify and have a go at that. With my mountain bike history, I'm all right on the bike, although I've crashed. But yeah, quite like trail running, quite like mountain biking. I'd like to do that in Ibiza if possible. Longer term, I've qualified for the standard next year, so I want to go back to standard. My results are better at standard in the past, so I'd like to get back in the top 5, maybe improve on that and get on the podium. I am confident enough to say I would like to aim for a medal and I'd like to win. Well, part of me always wants to win. Whether it happens or not is another matter, but I'm certainly aiming for that. That's part of why I race. Is I like to win. I don't always, certainly a duathlon, but that's the long term is to get back into standard and hopefully some cross duathlons.
Yeah, cool, great stuff. So you cross duathlon. Now, just going back to that, how does that whole qualification work out? Just in case there's anybody wanting to know how you, because I think it's slightly different, isn't it?
Yes, prior to, I think it's quickly becoming a justified qualification, but prior to, say, for this year or prior to that, there was no qualification as such. There's a guy, I think his name's Mark Priest, who he'll select people for the team on the back of results. There's no actual British Triathlon Federation qualification race calendar for that because there wasn't. I think it was only a European Championship. There was never a World Championship. Now this year they brought a World Championship and they put it on in Romania. It was the first one, and so I think that maybe going forward there will be some official qualification races. But basically, if you find a mountain bike duathlon or a trail duathlon in anywhere near you or whatever, and you enter that and you save your result and you've done okay within your age group, if you keep a link to that result, and then I can send on the the email to forward it to. But basically, you let Mark know your result and when you did it and what your intentions are. And then on the British Triathlon website, there is a registration, an intention to qualify for the Europeans. So you tick that box and you pay your £10 registration fee. And I'm assuming that at some point they'll add the World Triathlon onto that as well. So there's Tri and there's Duathlon. There's not so many at the minute. A few are being cancelled because of lack of numbers. So the more people that get involved, the better, because then hopefully we can get more races put back on again. We've got a decline in races in general because of the cost and the lack of people coming onto it since the pandemic and stuff. So just find some local races, do them, save your results, and then pop onto the group page. And if you can't find the links to it, then shout up and somebody will point you in the right direction.
Yeah. Because a teammate of mine, he's interested in doing, the off-road stuff, find some qualifying, well, not qualifying races, just races in general to do. He said it's just,
I know,
near on impossible, especially where we are. It's in Lincolnshire, it's so it would be quite helpful if there was somewhere to guide him to look at races and things and see what's about, even if it isn't local but national, what's available. I don't know if there's anything that you know about of that ilk.
I don't know of any specific website that's got the like a calendar of races on. There has been a few. I posted a message on the GB age group page about it recently, and people popped up with various replies to that. So I could probably find a link to that and share it. But unfortunately, they seem to be dying off left, right, and centre. Just as myself and, like you say, some people are getting into it and looking to find out. And I think people are being put off because they can't find it, and then not bothering. So it's kind of a bit of a catch-22. We could do with avoiding that. But I mean, duathlon's picked up in recent years. It was the off-season sport for triathletes.
That's right. It's
now a sport. It's in its own right. It's
quite right as well, because I always say, not everybody wants to or can or does swim. So it gives people the opportunity. I mean, that's why I like the whole multi-sport thing, where you've got aquabike, you've got aquathlon, you've got triathlon, you've got duathlon. You know what I mean? It's helping everybody come together and be able to partake. I think it's fantastic. So go now and finish your day. And if I can just ask you to send us a couple of photographs of stuff up. I mean, it does cross over to Facebook. So if I've got if you can send me that as well, that would be great. I
will do. Yeah, no problem.
Well, it's been lovely to speak to you. Fantastic story. And I hope your long and your short-term goals go to plan. And like I say, we'll keep in touch over Instagram, Facebook, whatever, like I do with all the previous guests. And good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, really enjoyed that chat to Jason. Top bloke from a running background, as he said, to competing in duathlons with a borrowed bike. Don't get much basic than that, does it? And it's refreshing to hear somebody trying to race as cheaply as possible, because this isn't a cheap sport, is it? As we know. So good luck, Jason, with everything. Hope you smash it over in Bilbao, and we'll be following your efforts and what you're doing next. And we'll keep in touch, like we said. So good luck with it all. And if you want to come on, or you know anybody who would have a great story to share, ask them or get in touch yourselves. And we're on the usual platforms, such as Instagram at amp_1967 or Facebook at ampgb. And our email address to get in touch is agegroupmultisportpodcast@gmail.com. And Twitter, we're on at Age Group Multisport Podcast. And we have our own YouTube channel at ampgb. And you can find all the previous episodes, as usual, on Spotify and Apple Podcast and lots of other platforms as well. And it would be great if you could leave us a review and a like and subscribe to our channels. It would really help our profile and get us out to more like-minded people. So would really appreciate that if you could do that. But yeah, and I think that's it for this episode. So nothing remains other than to say, stay safe, keep training, and love the process.